Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to Tetanam, the podcast for Africans by Africans, where we talk about geopolitical issues that are affecting us as Africans. We talk about creativity, we talk about the creative economy, the creative industry, and how you and I and the guests that come on here can push our continent to better and greater heights that it is and that it always will be. Today, I have an amazing guest. I'm very excited about this guest, if I'm being very honest. I will not introduce this guest because sitasema kila kitu na mimi nataka yeye aseme kila kitu yeye mwenyewe. Hii ni pitch deck yake. Give us your entire bio. Everything.
Okay. Where do we start? My name is Brian Omollo. I'm an artist. I've been drawing since I was a kid. And I've also learned the skill of graphic design. And then I've also been a lecturer for like over 9 years. So my life is a mixture of different things, from mentoring, sometimes clients needing me to create artwork that will help them tell stories, sometimes helping with brand identities, and just all kinds of interesting journeys and adventures in this creative world. Yeah.
Awesome. That Brian was actually my lecturer when I joined ADMI. He only taught me one unit, which is Photoshop. I was very scared of it, and he made me ease into it, which was really, really breathtaking. You made it seem very easy. I don't edit as much, but when I do, I remember just those basics. I'm like, always use the basics. Always use the basics. And the basics will never let you down. And you've said something that you've been drawing since you're a kid.
Yeah.
I can't draw to save my life. If God, I can't draw to save the world. And what actually pushed you to the pencil? What made you be like, okay, I can actually draw, so let me draw some more?
Yeah. I know my students have had this story many times, but for me, it was cartoons.
I've never
Club
had
Kiboko.
that one.
I used to watch Club Kiboko Saturday mornings, and sometimes the cartoons would excite me so much, I would record on a VCR, Google. VCR. So I'd record on tapes, and then now I can pause later and then try and draw it. So now from there, my parents are like, okay, this guy, he seems to like this thing. And now all the schools I went to, they made sure I went to places which championed creativity. So St. Mary's was like amazing. I was in Saints from standard 1 all the way till Form 4. Yeah, so that was a really amazing environment. I don't think we knew it back then, because back then people measured a school by how many A's you saw in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Saints was not the school for seeing our names in the newspaper, but we did creative stuff. Like, it felt like school was, first there was culture, and then there was a lot of experimenting and all that kind of stuff. And then from there, it's been college. I introduced graphic design. Then I took a gap year. Then I went away for 2 years and now got a degree in illustration.
Hey,
Yeah.
vibes. The main thing I want us to actually discuss today, of course, is the creative industry. But there's this trend going on in Kenya, in Africa, and also some parts of the world where all creatives are lumped into one job. Where you will find a job saying, we want a photographer, a videographer, an editor, who is a graphic designer, to manage the socials, to come up with the plan and this. And starting salary, 15 to 20,000.
Yes.
And it's exhausting. It's very, very exhausting. And that's something I want us to talk about. That's something I really want us to touch on. And I feel why I specifically asked you is because in graphic designing, that's where I've seen it. Graphic designing, photography, and videography is where I've seen it mostly. And most people don't understand these are all different jobs.
Yeah.
They are very, very different jobs. So could you run us down what's the difference between graphic design, for example, and photography?
Okay. So with graphic design, which is also very wide, because with graphic design, you're using softwares, you're using your ability to use like design elements. Like, the designer will use photos, the designer will use typography, the designer will use shapes, colors, text, different things to bring it together to communicate something. A lot of times to solve a problem. Like, I'll give you an example of a really interesting design problem that's solved. Like, let's say today you're flying to another country.
Yeah.
you land in an airport, English is not the first language. But you still need to figure out how to get to immigration. You need to figure out how to go to the ladies. Graphic design solves that problem. You're seeing the signage that lets you know, oh, let me go here, let me go there, without even speaking the language. Today, if you're driving home on the highway, you see the sign, you're able to make decisions quickly, even if you're moving at like 70 kph or 80, 100.
Yeah.
You know, so you have not missed exit 7, and then now you have to go there to exit 8 and come back. So this is just some little examples of problems that design solves. The issue you've talked about where people are being lumped into one, I think sometimes what happens is with technology, people are now choosing to do the bold thing and start their own businesses or start their own startups or whatever. And when you're starting your own thing, your funds have to go towards so many stuff, and they assume that creative can take a little bit and figure out how to do something with that. And many times we've been creative, like the times when even you can remember working a job where you're getting very little resources and you're able to do wonders with that. And sometimes a boss can mistakenly think that because you're able to do wonders with just that 10, 15K a month, like keep pushing like that. And then when I get more money, that's when I'll maybe add you to like 20K. But it's the key is education. Like you can educate yourself, you can learn more about the field, you can learn more about the value you bring, so that you'll know some scenarios it's for me to say no. I don't think many times as creatives we know scenarios where we need to say no. We need to dictate, this is how we do things, this is like, and if you see a situation which doesn't fit, like if I know I need like a month or 2 weeks minimum to do a really good logo and brand identity, someone can come to you with a lot of money and they want you to do it in 3 days. You should know that that's a scenario for you to say no, not because you don't want money, but because you want to ensure you have what you need to do a really good job. But what happens? We don't know any better. So you'll take that money and kill yourself trying to do something in 3-4 days. It's not the best, but maybe the client was happy. And then you're like, okay, so like, and then you keep trying to survive like that. Like when you don't have education, we fall into that fear of scarcity mindset. The competition is a lot. There's not enough work out there. There's not enough jobs. I can't say no. I need to say yes.
I need to do it.
So the key is just for every creative, everyone to educate themselves on the value of what they do, the reason why certain things need to go through a certain way. And then sometimes just accept, like our economy is young when it comes to things like creativity. Sometimes a client just doesn't know. To them, they just know. They put social media and graphics and video all in one bracket. Content.
But content or social media.
Yes, content. You're the content guy. I want an animation today, I want a video tomorrow, I want a design the other day. But sometimes you can educate them. And there are some clients who are good, they'll understand. They're like, oh, okay, this is what it takes. So, but if they don't and they're not willing to respect that, have the bravery to know, okay, this I need to say no, I need to walk away.
And I think that's a skill that most creatives need to learn, to say no. Because as you're saying, no is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of not knowing how to do the job. It's just being realistic.
Yeah.
And even when we come and now speak about realistic stuff, I want to touch a bit on AI.
Yeah.
Because as a creative, I feel like AI is a pro and a con to us. I think it's one of those things that you can either work with it or work against it, and know where your bound lies with it. That's what I really think about when it comes to AI.
Yeah.
And not many people agree with me. Other people think I'm crazy. Other people are like AI is. I used to always be like AI is horrible, which I still think AI is horrible because it's making people lazy in a certain way.
Yeah.
But now when we look at creatives, for example, we have tapped into AI and we're making AI work for us. What's your take on that, especially also in specifically your industry and your area?
Yeah. AI, it's a juicy topic. Like I have so many feelings about AI and they seem to change every week. They seem to change every month. But the biggest fundamental problem I have with AI, that even when I look at enthusiasts, even when I look at people who are doing really amazing, innovative work with it, is how is this thing learning how to do what it's doing? You guys are sampling work and taking work from creatives to teach these models how to create. You haven't gotten consent.
True.
it's basically widespread plagiarism because you learn how to take your videos, you learn how to do your photos. Whatever company samples your photos and then teaches its software how to create what you've created. You deserve a cut from that. Like,
True.
they don't have the right to use your thing that way without
my permission, because that's my intellectual property.
And you can see how most of these companies are moving. Some of these social media platforms, you'll just see, accept these new terms and conditions. But in there's some clause there they've tried to put in that, now if you post something, we're allowed to use it to train our AI model. But you're really trying to figure out a way to steal or to take from this thing. But why not just reward the people who have that craft? What was so wrong with valuing them for what they're doing? Because they are creating value for you.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any company around today that isn't benefiting from hard work from creatives.
True.
So it's been positioned as something that you no longer have to pay the amazing creative. You can.
There's a shortcut.
Yes. So I don't know why that's so exciting and amazing for people to think about. Like, that's a part which is disheartening. It's like you're so excited to cut out that person who's helping you.
Who's helping you.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Now, the other side, their creatives are like, but you can add it. And yes, it's true. There are some areas, like for me, where I love using AI is like administrational tasks. I don't need to write notes in meetings. Like, it can help me with that. Or it can help me do web searches much quicker. Before you're searching things, you've opened up like 6-7 tabs. So this thing can search for stuff and then list it down for you.
Then you pick which one you want.
So things like that, it's amazing. And there are people who use it to create, and that's also amazing. And I think that's going to stay. But I think I would hope the future of AI is where they're trying to be ethical. So use from databases where the people who gave their photos or their artwork to those spaces agreed to the terms of, you guys can use my work to train your AI models. Like
ask me for permission.
Yeah, like places like Pexels. Like even right now, if I wanted photos and I maybe don't have a budget to hire a photographer, I can get photos from Pexels. I can get photos from Unsplashed.
Yeah.
At least there was an agreement. The people who put their stuff there, don't try and steal from the background. That's my biggest problem with that. Now, the other problem you've talked about is where, like, we call it Google Page One. Like, everybody's work is just looking the same now.
Yeah.
Everything is just looking generic. Like, work is supposed to look different. Like, today, if I ask you to create something, it's different from what I would create. And that's always been the beauty of art. It's supposed to be an expression of the human experience. But now, guys are using an app to create what is a mimic of that human experience. And you wait and see. After 5 years, after 10 years, we'll revisit this conversation and people will be like, yeah, it's not quite.
It's not working out.
Yeah.
And that's true. Even when you look at billboards that are AI generated, you're like, that's AI. That's fake.
An eye looking a bit wonky, or the fingers.
The fingers, or even the texture of the skin. Because personally, as a photographer, even if I look at a picture, I'm like, this is not somebody who took it. Even if you put it in post and you've worked on the texture and the clarity and what, kuna hiyo feel, even without touching it, you can see that texture. It's not real. It's fake.
And I know people will argue that, but it's getting better, and the new softwares now are doing it. It has lifelike texture and all those things. Fine, but it just a human being. Like, it's a funny thing. Even like nowadays, when I write emails, if there's a grammatical error, I don't correct it. I send it like that. Just so you know, you're talking to a human being. Like, our language, our creating, editing, all those stuff are not supposed to be a perfect thing. It's supposed to be like you'll choose to edit this way, me I'll choose to edit this way. It's someone's expression, their individuality. So that's the part where I'm like I get people are fascinated, and you think you're expressing yourself, but you're really using a tool to create something. It's not fully your expression.
Yeah.
I hope that people go through those. Don't be afraid of the 10,000 hours to learn these tools, because there's never been a better time than now. There's free tools for drawing, free tools for editing, free tools for photo manipulation, all the stuff you want to create. There's free tools to do that. Learn the joy of creating. Learn the joy of trying these things. Don't feel stressed that you have to get it perfect. Then now you're going to the AI thing because you think it will do it better than you.
That's true.
Go through, you're going to live life anyway. So you might as well spend it learning a skill and you'll enjoy. And then one day it will bring you dividends. Yeah.
You're right. And something I always say is I really do feel like creatives, we are special. We are chosen by God. Not everybody can create.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. And whether these big corporations and small corporations want to admit it, they do need us at the end of the day. Because you want to attract a human being to come in and buy your goods or buy your services. But you need a fellow human to be able to cater around what exactly you want to do. Because whether you like it or not, AI will not always figure it out. AI will get it wrong. AI will definitely get something wrong. And you're like, even nowadays, ChatGPT comes with an advisory saying some of this information might not be accurate. And I always say AI is technically Google on steroids. Because it does the same thing Google does, but way, 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 way faster. It's sipping through so much information in such a high rate. And at some point, I can also say it's encouraging what I call a level of brain rot. People are becoming lazy. You don't wanna actually do the work. You don't wanna actually put the effort.
You just reminded me of something. Like, there's a topic called critical thought. You know, where you're the one who's actually trying to think it through and trying to figure it out. It's almost equivalent to when I was in Primo, we didn't use calculators. All the maths you had to do, mental arithmetic, right?
Yeah.
And then when you get to secondary school, they give you a calculator. But I can understand now why, because they want you to be able to critically think that thing through on your own before the tool helps you.
Yes.
And I think, yes, the future will be AI, and there are certain things that even now, there's certain things that I can't imagine going back to the way I was doing it before. But there are moments when I'm like, no, let me think and write this email myself. Let me write these thoughts myself. Then, if there's some areas where I want you to help me flash things out so that, you know, because like a lot of us creatives, like your one-man army, or even if you have a team, there's some administrational stuff that it can make your life easier. I think, like, there's an artist who posted something which was really funny. They're like, I don't want AI to draw for me. I want AI to do my tasks so that I can draw more.
I can just draw. I can just create.
So the main thing is critical thought. Do not offload your critical thoughts. Like, that work should still be yours. Don't delegate that work to a software. Continue with your critical thought, because that's what will make you valuable.
And that's what will sharpen you.
We can't predict. I can't tell you what 5 years from now will look like, or 10 years. But one thing I know for sure is that people who have held on to their humanity and are in touch with themselves and then also others, that's always been valuable, regardless of the tools we're using.
Very right. And you've said that there's one homework I want to give everyone who's watching, even you. There's this episode that I recently watched on Docker podcast. And it was I think he's one of the godfathers of AI. Some of the godfathers of AI are now warning people of the dangers of AI. And not because AI is bad, but because the person who is using the AI is bad. So there's a prediction that's been made that in maybe 2027 or 2028, we might get into a dystopia. We might get into a 15-year-long dystopia of mass destruction, of AI being used at its worst. But we can go there, or we can have a utopia where we are actually using AI to solve world problems that need to be solved. Because things like hunger, things like drought, things like famine, these are things we can...
Even education.
Even especially education. And I think right now there's such a crackdown on education, not just within our walls here in Kenya, but even if we look, very good example, the United States. The crackdown on the education sector is scary there. The education and health sector. They're banning books of history. Trump recently said he doesn't understand why the Smithsonian, it's where the history of slaves is. It's like, I don't understand why slavery wasn't that bad. You guys are making it look so bad. And you're like, what in the madness is this? And then you come here to Kenya, and then we have all our corruption scandals happening in the education sector. Money is missing. They want to feed our children 1,000 chapos a day. And you're like, how does it make sense for our governments to think that some of these things make sense? You know? And at the end of the day, I think it also boils down to, as we were talking about earlier, that these governments they're all criminal organizations. That's one thing I can say about governments. And when we now boil down especially to creativity, I personally think there's a crackdown for creatives in Kenya, creatives and freelancers. Look at our recent finance bills, which have come directly at us. And they're like, no, we're not coming after you guys. Everything is good. But if you really sit down and think about it, even for somebody to be like, okay, let me dive into my creativity, they tried the 9-to-5 life. Most people tried the 9-to-5 life. Or most people try to get into the 9-to-5 life. And the universe or just whatever said, this is not for you. And I can vouch for myself. I have never worked 9-to-5. I have always thought I'd work 9-to-5. And when I couldn't work 9-to-5, I was like, okay, let me just tap into what I actually have, which has been way more fruitful. And I think that's, in a sense, a threat to our governments. As a creative, what do you think about that? What does that make you feel like, damn, you people say you want to take care of us, but you're coming after us. Instead of trying to understand this industry, you're coming after it guns blazing.
Wow, so many things to think about there. So many things. First, you touched on crackdown on education. Sometimes feeling like creatives are targeted. Okay, I think what happened, we have different generations. Like our parents, they grew up like in what we call, or maybe before that, they grew up in what we call the Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
Where things became industrialized. If you got degrees, you're guaranteed jobs. The other day I was watching an interview for Martha Karua, and she was talking about how back then, even once you got a diploma, there's companies that were actually coming looking for you to hire you. Like, you are guaranteed. So that's why our parents raised us with this thing of get a degree, and if you can get that, get a master's. Because in their time, that's what guaranteed opportunities, guaranteed employments. Then now we've come to this time for the digital revolution where you can have the papers, but that doesn't guarantee you employment. It doesn't guarantee you that you'll enter the good 9-to-5. So there's times when people could work a decent 9-to-5 job, and you're doing your hobbies on the side, and you have your family, and you can afford your house, and like it will be kind of okay. No, that's gone. There's like the soul destroying, super stressful, high workload, high stress jobs.
Little pain.
Yeah. Or there's you working on your gift and your talent and your passion, and specifically your gifts. Those are and for some people, their gifts led them to a place where they had to employ themselves. I don't think I planned to be an entrepreneur. It was the only way I could exist. I tried working within companies and other companies, and then it's like the only time when I've been able to create my best work and do my best stuff was when I finally was independent. So I think people should approach it from a perspective of take advantage of different places and whatever is available to you. Because there was a time when I needed employment. And there's places I've worked where I've learned invaluable things that are helping me even now as I'm independent. That had I not done that, I'd be struggling as an independent person. I was struggling as an independent person before going into those companies. But now that I went there, I learned those things, I could live and exist better independently for the long term. I think every walk of life, there'll be like evil. Like there's people who, they're informed by greed, they're informed by power, they're informed by fear. And like you talked about how, I think we have people who are in these positions of power or government that don't have the competency to be there. They don't have the ability to do that work very well. And it's such an important work for you to do that if you don't do it well, there's literally generations of people who are suffering because you've not done that part well.
True.
What's amazing about the digital revolution in this time is nobody can have a monopoly on education. People can educate themselves. And I think that's why people praise Kibaki so much, because at least he gave people some baseline education. for them to be able, how they say, like if you feed someone fish, they'll keep coming back for more. But if you teach them how to fish, they go off and they so that's, I think, what happened without us even knowing. Like we got some baseline education, and now that people are educated and then digital has come, people are educating themselves. I have former students who have gotten to their level of excellence without having, my parents had to spend millions. I go away, 3,000 plus kilometers away, study, come back. Now, you guys have access to the knowledge that I was going away for.
At your fingertips.
Yes. So that's like amazing. And I think anybody who's listening, because I know it gets scary. Like every day you see the new scandal in the world, new this, new that, new oppression. But just know, as long as you have access to educate yourself, the power is always in your hands. True. And as long as the power is in your hands, like if you're focused on the things that you can control, that will help you be able to know. You don't need to know what to do 10 years from now. You just need to know what to do this week. Maybe you just need to know what to do tomorrow.
One step at a time.
And then you'll know what to do next year. And then you'll know, okay, this is kind of what I see it going in 5 years. And then whatever you couldn't predict would happen next year, that will happen, a new finance bill, unfortunately, or something. By then, if you're consistently just empowering yourself, by then you'll have a new level of ability that you didn't even know you had that will help you navigate what comes then. Some of that flexibility, like hey, I can tell you, like even like financially, there are certain restrictions I put on myself and even the way I live, so that I know financially I can withstand what's coming, There was a dream to buy a new car. Suddenly I'm like, this car that I have is working. Because you look at this new bill and now cars that you could buy for 400, 500K, now they're worth 1.1.
Like, huh?
So that's the thing that I've been forced to do. And some of us may be forced to do that just for a season. But what I've noticed is the people who come out of these situations, is the ones who focus on, how can I exist here? You look at it almost like a creative brainstorm, this is the confinement, this is the restriction, this is the opportunity. So they figure out how to exist within that world. But it's been super inspiring. Like last year and this year, I didn't think people could stand up against this kind of oppression in this way, and it actually shows some results. It might look like it's not showing results. It may look like the enemies are prospering, but I don't think they are. I think
our enemies are suffering.
Totally.
They are suffering.
Totally.
Like just today, the way Duale was, alikuwa najaribu kujitetea story ya Shift leo. Sha is working. It's fine. These things they're telling us in the media is propaganda. I'm like, dude. He literally admits, some of these hospitals were closed in May. If they were closed in May, why were they still getting money? And I feel like, in a sense, our creatives in Kenya have really, really helped in pushing for accountability with our leaders. Like nobody, even all the posters that were made from last year to this year, it had a creative had to make it. Creatives had to do the thing. Even encouraging people, enda na simu yako, record, take pictures. Recording, that's videography, that's an element of creativity. Pictures, photography.
Which is remind me from what you're saying, where you're feeling like, it's like these guys are against us. I think that feeling is coming from, you've had to educate yourself certain things. You've had to figure out how to exist in a world that's changing. And you've had to figure out how to create your own income. You've had to figure out how to sometimes get clients from near and far. You're really figuring out these things on your own. Like the government didn't create an environment for us to learn these things. We figured these things out on our own. But then we find a scenario where, now you want to tax us. There was a time they wanted to increase even a tax on YouTube. Like, you have to get a permit before you can post something here. So you start realizing, even small things like where you live, you're paying, like if you're getting water from borehole, you're still paying Kanjo. Why?
It doesn't make sense.
We dug that thing. We're the ones sourcing that water. Where have you come in? You're supposed to pay for services. You're supposed to serve us. Then we'll gladly pay you. There's countries in Eastern Europe who pay almost as much tax than us, but then they pay it willingly because you can see where it's
working.
Them. They see where things are going. And I think ultimately another thing we need to think about, because sooner or later you might find it's us now who are in those positions of power, and then now we'll have to make decisions that are helpful to everybody. People need to come out of a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
People need to come out of this mindset that I need to get to that point where I can amass for me and my people alone for us to survive. I genuinely think the world can be abundant if set a certain way, and you can have enough for everybody. That thing of trying to amass for yourself and your people to secure, your people still need to exist in this world where there's not much.
True. True.
So create a scenario like giving will always have you receiving more. Always.
True.
Like people have created communities from giving. People have created communities from you help that person and then that person helped someone else and then one day even you got helped. You have to create that community, not take from it.
Yeah.
Like we've seen what taking does. Now people need to figure out, okay, let's do something different for all of us.
Yeah.
Because you can't exist on your own. And now it's a patience game now. Like eventually those people who are doing things in selfish ways, it's going to fall apart even on their own without us even having to push.
That's true. That's very, very true. And I think also creatives tunajitumanga sana. Tunajituma sana. And even as you're saying, I've had to figure out, a creative has had to figure out all of these things, some of which we should have been helped with, some of which a system should have come, because creativity haikuanza leo, haikuanza jana, it's always been here.
Let me tell you something that scares me. Like every month or so I think about it. The organizations that fund the creative industry in this country, most of them are foreign. Most of them are foreign. As the Germans, the French, the British,
the Italians,
like they fund a lot.
Yeah.
If these people decide now the funding has ended, just like the USA decided, hey, now it's a wrap, we're going, what happens then?
I think in that specific thing, we should really be asking that question. But if I'm to give my opinion on that specific thing, for how long will you accept? You see the fisherman example you just gave?
Exactly.
How long will we accept to just be given? What are you doing with what has been given to you? How are you expanding what's been given to you? How are you turning your 5 fish, your 2 fish and your 5 loaves of bread into something to feed everyone? And call me a hater, but I low-key, not even low-key, maybe high-key support the decision of cutting off USAID. So it makes me sound crazy, but hear me out. For how many years has Africa been receiving aid? For how many years have these governments been giving aid? Miaka yote. Hamujai tuambia, by the way, for the next 2 years, let's create a plan. Hata tuchukue pesa kidogo, tuweke mahali to invest. Let's do something. Let's create a system. I think it's a lack of systems that are letting down Africans in different areas, especially like, say, for example, USAID. It is lack of establishing a proper system to solve the problem, because handouts is not a solution. And even now, when, as you're saying, it gets to the point the guys funding creatives are like, guys, sasa tumepewa kutosha. Now you need to figure it out. We need to figure it out as creatives. We've been figuring it out all the time. So now that we have people who are giving us these funds, okay, umenipea ido. How do I multiply this? How do I make this become a system in that, hata nyinyi mkisema you're going to stop funding us, as we find,
Yeah, the USA thing, I agree with you. And I think it's probably definitely more complicated than even there's people who are even more educated on the nuances on that. But I think perhaps the thing that it exposed was that it's almost like the systems that were supposed to be there to ensure these things are running were caught flat-footed. Totally flat-footed. They never imagined that, this rug will be pulled out from under us. And now they've been exposed, because yes, if I'm strictly an American person thinking, hey, my money is going there and we have problems here. Strictly from their perspective, it can make sense how we're pulling out the rug. What I think from a humane perspective is it could have been done systematically over time. Like to do it just like that is a little bit malicious.
That was mean.
the exposing is important, and it's something, I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
We all need to learn that even when you're getting the help so that now you can figure out how to do it on your own. There's programs I've benefited from, like Goethe Institute.
Yes.
There's stuff I've benefited from British Council
Allianz?
that really helped me. Allianz, not yet. I don't think, maybe the criteria, maybe where I fit. I know guys who do animation, maybe film, they fit better in those criteria. But they've helped. Like these events I've gone for there. Now, most of those applications in Mepita your age. But I understand. Like, I understand why they capped it at 35. Because, like, if you've been doing your things correctly, by the time you get to 35,
you should have
now
figured
you can
something
be able
out.
to now hold on your own. And it's true, I can now hold on my own. I'd rather that grant go to someone who's 23 and just starting out and trying to figure stuff out, or someone who's 28 and things are starting bubbling up, but they really help from another push.
Yeah.
So it's okay that they've now said, okay, now from 35 on, no. So it is true. And I think a lot of people will be listening to this and feeling like, hey, but now you guys, you just want us to be on our own. Not really that you want you to be on your own, but you just want you to remember that this help is there for now, but tomorrow it's the situation is going to change. So you're looking at it from, okay, learn from these spaces, benefit from not just their finances, but also their education. Because with the education, then a little bit of finance, that will take you a lot further. Then there's someone giving you money and then now, do something with it. But and I think that's the, it's a lot, and it's a lot of mental gymnastics, but if you do that work, eventually you will figure that you have answers, you have options. I'm always for, let's try and figure out what's in our power to do, what is in our control. Because the more you start feeling like this, like I can't control this, I can't safeguard this, the worse it kind of now starts to get, even mentally.
That's true.
Yeah.
You've said mentally, two things you've said, financially and mentally. I'll get to the financial part first. There's such a trend all over the world, not just Kenya, not just Africa, but internationally as well, where you'll see an artist, let me say an artist because those are the let me say the OG creatives, or the people who the world has traditionally viewed as creatives. You'll see a trend where an artist atapata do, they'll be, as in they're doing well, they're skyrocketing, and then all of a sudden they fall into debt. All of a sudden it's a fall from glory. And then you're like, wewe surely hii pesa yote. How have you squabbled all of this? Like, there's a rumor I've been here, I'm saying rumor, allegedly, that Bruno Mars is in debt right now. And he's living his way in Vegas to pay his gambling debts. And you're like, okay, so we're giving this money to creatives, or we're rewarding creatives. But I think it's also important to, as I was talking about education, how are we moving around with these creatives? Financially, that is. Because if you look at every other industry, every other type of job role, if I can call it that, there's always that structure of, okay, umepata pesa, tunaenda hivi. There's that kind of structure that they're given. But when it comes to creatives, it's umeachiliwa. Even Kenyan artists. We have a number of Kenyan artists who wameachiliwa tu. They've had a fall from glory, if I can call it like that. And then it's, okay, ujipange. So what do you think, what approach do you think we can take with this?
I mean, okay, I think, number one, I don't think it's only the artists who are actually hard. Like, I think anyone who, like, if people saw you to have money and then all of a sudden you're in serious debts, trust me, you try call people, suddenly phones are not being answered. If I saw you in a Benz and now ask me for 2K, this K, like trust me, the phone won't be answered. It's happening to everybody. But I think creative entrepreneurs, like I was saying, it's such a young economy. When I was graduating in 2011, even my own parents were nervous when I told them, oh, by the way, I don't want to go, because the normal thing would be go to a big agency, become like an art director there, or start your own agency. That was what many people were doing. But me, I was like, nah, I want to be an illustrator. I want to work as an independent illustrator. Nobody was doing that back then. Now, there's like so many people, like even my former students now are doing amazing jobs. that means it's a young career. So people are advising you on something that even them, they don't know.
They don't know.
And then, so we're learning a lot from people in other economies, but their economy is not completely like ours. Like an example, like learning stuff to do with pricing. I'm always learning stuff from people who, but I have to translate it. Like, this is pricing advice for people in American market. But in Kenya, I know there are certain things where even if I wanted to change it, it's not going to change right now. I'd love to be paid the deposit before I start. And for some industries, yes, that can work. But me, I already know, especially the big premium jobs, I'm probably going to get my money 30 days, sometimes 60 days.
Done the gig.
Yeah, so I just plan around that. While I'm still pushing to insist, hey, guys, we need to know, like, especially if this job is going to have costs on my end, I need you guys to give a deposit. So there's all those things. So I guess education is just the biggest thing. Like, you can learn a bunch of stuff that can help you navigate things a bit better. But also, don't believe the myth of the lifestyle you're supposed to lead. I have people who used to wonder, hey, Brayo, you don't do any drugs, you don't even drink, you're a fake creative. So it's almost like there's a brand, creatives have to get high, so they get into the zone, so they come up with the best ideas.
You come with
but
you're popping pills.
And I'm not saying you don't have a good time and be with your friends, but I don't think for you to get your best creativity, you have to routinely get high for the ideas to come.
I agree.
I think there's a discipline you can develop pole over time.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you can develop that discipline pole over time. Even right now, as I'm talking to you, there's projects I have where the idea hasn't quite hit. And is it stressing me? Yes. But over time, you kind of learn how to manage that. It's not 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it would probably stress, it would cripple me.
You'll get the shaking.
Like, I'd be like, am I going to get an idea for this thing? It's such an amazing opportunity. I need to hit this thing. This is what I dreamt of. I need to, So all these things you can learn how to manage them. So
them.
Have faith in yourself and have faith that, like God will show you how to manage this gift and how to manage the challenges that will come with that.
True.
And you'd be so surprised. But if the day comes that, money, you get into tough situations, it's okay to seek help and to seek advice. And, there's places like, I remember when I quit agency end of 2015, I just started January 2016. I enrolled for a course with Centonomy. They have this course called Centonomy Entrepreneur. And I just saw the ad. I was like, yep, I probably need this thing. Because all I knew was I was done with where I was and I left. Most people, they leave a place and they have like a 6-month plan. I just knew what I want to do, but the plan wasn't really there.
Yeah.
So immediately went into Centonomy. So it was like 11 weeks. So there's stuff like that. There's a channel on YouTube called The Future. I'm always watching their content, Chris Doe and his team. So you can do small things like those, but mostly just, I think there's things we've been lied to that we were told, oh, these are cool things. This is how you're supposed to live. This is the way.
Yeah.
But later on you come to realize those are kind of lies. Those are kind of, sometimes because you exist in a consumerist world.
Yeah.
Sometimes someone wants you to believe, oh, it's cool to have the Hennessy. It's cool to buy the expensive 50-age whiskey and whatever. It's cool to go to that event where it's like 6 G's early bird. Like,
soft life.
Yeah, like those are things you must do. You must do. There's pressure for you to must do these things. Yeah. But can you afford these things? Is it sustainable for you to have this as your lifestyle?
Yeah.
Completely. What is it doing to your health? What is it doing to your relationships? Like some of these places, even I was going to these bashes, I was going to those people. They're not even in my life now. When I need them, they're not there. It's the guys I'm hanging out with on a random boring Saturday or Sunday.
That have impact.
We'll just watch movies, then we'll play FIFA on Sunday. Those are the people who have been there for me 110%. So I think we were lied to that the healthy things are boring and lame.
Boring, yeah.
And then the cool things are what we're supposed to do, but they were not fully healthy. So everyone needs to educate themselves on those things so that you uncover the lies. And then you'll uncover, I can promise you.
Uncover the
lies.
You
just start to see it for yourself, like, this is not it.
You guys are just lying to. It's like what we're seeing with our government now. Like, you guys are just lying to us. Like, you can see.
So I'm not saying don't have fun. Like, go have your drink or two. But if you're finding that that's the routine and it's not particularly healthy to you, you catch yourself before even people have to tell you. Me, there's things I'm afraid of. Because even as a human being, as an adult, by the time people are even telling you, hey, this thing is messing you up, by the time people are even telling you, you're already far.
You're far.
It's really, really difficult to be honest with another adult about their habits. So you catch yourself before even other people.
Before someone catches you.
To catch you.
Yeah, because as you're saying, when somebody catches you, it's, hey, you're fine to that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Really,
the
really
world
far.
has been designed to get you into that rabbit hole. There's people financially benefiting from you being lost. You know,
there are people praying that you just keep getting lost. Yeah, because that's how they make their bank.
That's how they make their money. They, the social media app makes a lot when you're constantly addicted.
TikTok.
Like it's the first thing you check before you've even said good morning to anybody.
That was me this morning. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in myself this week. I'm not going to lie.
You're a human being and your willpower can only get you so far. But just understand, there's some people who benefit from your downfall.
True.
They really do.
So true.
That's why even it's so difficult to just live mentally healthy lives, physically healthy lives. Why is it that the thing that is healthy to eat is so expensive and so far?
And doesn't make sense.
But the unhealthy thing, like I can order some unhealthy chicken or pizza and it will come even at 1 a.m.
In 5 minutes to be here. No. But try and get that
healthy thing, that organic thing. So much more effort.
And it's so much more expensive.
Yeah.
Before we continue, I'd like you to tell us 2 truths about being a creative and 1 lie about being a creative.
That's easy. Lie number 1, there's people who believe they can't draw. I think everyone can draw.
Thank you for giving me hope.
I think everyone can draw.
Thank you for giving me hope.
But not everybody can draw. Like people think drawing is like Picasso level or like Marvel comics.
Yeah.
There are guys who have the ability to like technique. Even me, I can't draw portraits like that. Then there are others who will draw like simple patterns and things that they can decorate on their fabric. Decorate. Like I really like that mural we saw even when we were walking in.
Yeah.
Like there's people who can draw like
along
that.
The wall.
I think we all have some kind of style of drawing. That's why when we were kids, we all drew. We played with like crayons.
Yeah.
I think, and I guess the truth of our creative is we all have creativity. It's just that most of us, it's educated out of our heads. Like we drew in pre-uni to do all the way till class 2. Then at some point you're told put the crayons away. And now start doing what you think is serious things. So the truth is the creatives survived. They continued drawing in secret. Or somehow they kept that child or that play alive in them. Those are the ones who end up becoming good creatives. And then another truth, which I saw being echoed somewhere, and I think it makes sense. Like I think if you can create one thing, you can create many other things. Like if you're a good photographer, you can also one day direct a film.
Yeah.
If you're good at directing a film, you can also maybe one day design a clothing brand. Like the same ethos that has you creating in one area can lend itself to another area. You find guys who are good chefs, and then they are also good dancers. And then one day they just come up and then they are also good sculptors or something like that. I think anybody who's a creative and you've really been good at one area, able to try something else, you'll be shocked.
You're right.
You'll be shocked.
There you're right. 100, and let me be a testament. I'm right 100%. I didn't think I would be a photographer. I did not think for any day that a camera would be what gives me my daily bread. I did not think that. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love music a lot. I used to love singing a lot. And my sisters are the ones, I always say my sisters made me know that I am a creative. So I always used to sing to them and to make them fall asleep or help them calm down. And I was like, okay, this is something that I actually can do. And then that transferring that mentality. I went to high school, I went into drama. So transferred it there. Left high school, I was like, okay, let's do photography. And funny thing, you've said how it gets to a point where it's educated out of you. I think at the same time we also have the different parents who can see something in you.
It's a good topic, yeah.
And they're like, wait, what's an idea? Because I remember for me, I took a gap year and I knew I wanted to do something in arts. That's all I knew. I was like, mimi nataka kufanya arts. I don't know how, don't know when. And at first, my dad didn't get it. He was like, no, go do French first, and then we'll talk about this. I was like, dude, Me, I know what I want to do. So kichwa ngumu yangu tu nikaenda KNT for like three months straight asking for auditions. 3 months straight. And then when I went on the third month, they're like, we're now having them next week. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into Nairobi Performing Arts Studio. That's I went and I did classes in acting, in theater production, and in what else did I do? Did I do film? I don't know. I did something. I can't remember.
This topic is so good, Yanni. I'm waiting.
I did something somewhere there. And then I traveled that year with my dad. We took a trip to Italy. And I just started taking pictures with my phone. And then he saw some of the pictures. I was like, damn, you're actually good at this. It's like, I'm actually good. And it's like, you know what? I'll get you your first camera. And from then, we've never looked back. And not very many creatives have that story. Some creatives still today are trying to prove to their parents that, this thing pays off, you know? What do you think?
That one, hey, okay. I'll have something to say to parents, and I'll have something to say to creatives.
Okay.
For creatives, the vision, the gift, it's you who'll get it. So the task is on you to discover it and to educate yourself on that thing. It's very difficult. So yes, people can see the gift in you, but it's you to see, because there's your gift, and then there's how it will tie to your God-given purpose, and then how it will tie into the society and the community that you're in. It's you to navigate those things. Now, hopefully you'll take yourself to places where you get educated, like some go to school. Maybe you can't go to school, you go work an internship. Maybe you, like what you said, you went to KNT.
Kenya National Theatre.
Yeah. Or you go to exhibitions, or you'll go take part in 48, or you'll do a bunch of stuff. Every young creative should just immerse themselves in creating and creating a good community of people who will challenge you to make stuff every day. And then realistically, I see people who do these things over, I'll do a design a day for a year. It's impressive, but it's not realistic for all of us. Like me, even an artwork a week would be a stretch. But as long as you're constantly creating and you're constantly in environments where you're challenged and you're inspired, just keep yourself in spaces like those. And eventually you'll come to discover, I think I'm gifted in 1, 2, 3 things. And then passionately follow that gift. I can promise you that gift will lead now to somewhere.
Die on that hill.
There's people who are like, they're told, be a doctor, be a lawyer. And the people who make a lot of money being doctors, being lawyers. But there are also some doctors who are struggling to get jobs today.
True.
Because it was not their gift. And
It's
there's
not in
people who
them.
are still making money even doing yellow pages today. Because they're just so good at selling stories and selling solutions. They'll sell ice to an Eskimo. So somewhere, hopefully, and that's what good education is supposed to do. It's supposed to give you a bunch of different experiences that can help you discover more about yourself. It's not that you had to become a physician.
Yeah.
You did physics so that one day, if someone tells you, gravity stuff, they can't lie to you. You did physics still at least Form 2. So huwezi nidanganya certain things.
You can't play that
But
game.
mostly it's just to put stuff in your head that can come out as art, can come out as thinking, can come out as that stuff. So if you're that young creative and you feel that thing, pursue that thing, even when people are not understanding. And it doesn't mean that that thing needs to become 100% of your life at the beginning. It can be, you have the day job that's paying your bills. There's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5. There can be that, and it's paying your bills, and you're learning and you're being useful there. And then there's the thing you're doing on the side, which it lights you up and you're passionate about it and whatever. In fact, a good scenario, if you're lucky, get a gig which is like 20 to 24 hours of your week. And it's able to take care of your main bills and stuff like that, so that you're not stressed about bills when you're trying to create. There's nothing worse for creative growth than having financial stress and burden. It's like, I'm just discovering this photography thing, but it's supposed to pay all my bills and future investments and all that stuff. Nah, it needs to be in this kind of incubator. And that's why your parents try to take care of you, maybe help you with your rent or pay with your fees. Because they want you to be in this kind of incubator where this thing can grow naturally. Because I worked like I've never worked hard. Because I can't say I was like an amazing student in high school. My grades were average. In fact, when I finished from 6, they were terrible. Then I go to college, now they pick up. And then uni, I was like a star. Like, they had options.
You and I both.
Because
You're like,
I worked so hard. And there's opportunities I was desperate for when I just graduated. But now looking back, I can see that opportunity I was desperate for in 2011, 2012. I would have, the stuff I got in 2020, had I gotten them in 2012, I would have fumbled them badly. The stuff I got in 2020 that I got in 2019, I would have fumbled it badly. You need that time for your thing to grow naturally. So in that space, to any external pressure, to that, hey, I saw so-and-so post this thing, and they got 5,000 likes.
Even me
need to post before this trend goes. Like, toy yourself from that outside pressure.
Yeah.
You're in competition only with yourself. You're just trying to get a little better than who you were last month, last year. You're just trying to try different experiments. So just do that and understand that because this vision is yours and you existed in the world today, your parents can't understand this world of today. They really can't.
Yeah.
They can't. And they will always want to choose for you what feels like is safe.
Yeah.
You know? But sometimes the safe option is the bad option. It was safe for me to continue being at an agency where salary is guaranteed, where like there's some kind of security. But it became so toxic. I'm not able to fully express myself. And you can get to a point where I'm just like, I'm disillusioned and I'm heartbroken by this art thing. Let me just enjoy life. No. Like, then suddenly temptation to be corrupt will come and you'll do it. Because it's like, I tried doing it the proper way for almost 10 years. It didn't work.
Like,
now I'm just going to eat. Now I'm going to do what I need to do to survive. These two need to go to school.
Yeah.
Wife needs to be taken care of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people don't just wake up one day and become villains.
It becomes
a
villain
collection
story.
of, and those are the best movies, the ones that develop the character of the villain just as much as they develop the character of the hero. So as a creative, just understand that. It's not that your parents are against you. Although there are some parents that could do a better job of trying to understand your world, because that's also the task of parenting. They need to put in a bit of time. Like your dad now saw, hey, I've seen your pictures. He got inside your world and saw it. But just know they'll never, I think even for my folks, I think eventually it got to a point where they're like, okay, he's the one who went abroad for 2 years. And he's the one who's been studying and he's the one who's been doing this thing.
Like,
so if he's saying it's illustration that will take him, I'm getting calls from friends that he was interviewed on KTN. Sijaona. One day they were driving out of the house, they see my face in the newspaper. So you as a young creative, if you're diligent and if you're responsible with the time that you have, it will bring fruit. And then you'll be given more freedom and even more support to now do more with it.
That's true.
But sometimes as young creatives, it's not easy. You have so many things that can distract you. Like it's back, you could count the TV channels that were available to us on one hand. Like Kenyan TV channels.
NTV?
We were bored a lot. We were bored. Like I used to go to college on Mombasa Road back when each lane was 2 lanes. So you're in traffic for long. You're just bored. So my mind... Like I have such a vivid imagination to draw myself from the boredom of traffic and mundane things, not enough things to watch in TV. Fast forward to today, just YouTube alone can take 3 hours of your morning. You know how many times I've woken up and it's 7 and I'm like, let me just watch one thing as I ease into the day.
And you keep
Before
going.
You know it's 10, now I'm rushing to class. Why do I need to rush? I was awake 3 hours before. So you all have so many distractions. You all have so many ways that you're comparing yourself with others. That wasn't there. I was in my own bubble just creating. I didn't know that so-and-so is also making some stuff and now I'm pressured by what team is creating. So that's the challenge you guys have. Like
that's true.
Social media is making it really difficult on you and you so if you can avoid those things, don't compare yourself with anyone. You just compare with yourself.
That's true.
And embrace boredom, because when you're bored, your mind will think of some creative stuff.
Your mind will think will come up with
if you're
things
overstimulated, me anytime I'm blocked, it's because a lot of times either I've not rested well or I'm overstimulated. Like that phase when I was looking for inspiration, I saw so many things, but I don't know where to start. So that's the task for the creative. Appreciate your gift, grow that gift, and just have faith that gift will get you somewhere. It'll get you somewhere more amazing than you could ever imagine. Now, for the parents.
Wazazi mushikilie masikio vizuri na musikie.
I like just know we understand. You love this child. You've grown this child for like until they're adults. And it can be scary. Like they are now trying to choose their own things. And then you'll see online that, there's something about AI replacing designers. Should my son even become a graphic designer? You know, and understand that that's it's tough, but just know if your child has that gift is going to get them somewhere. Try to understand their world. Try to understand how their personality is different. Like me, I used to think I wasn't that smart. Then I grew up and realized it's just because I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual learner and a practical learner. Like there's like 4 different types of common learning styles. There's read and write, which is very prevalent in schools.
Yeah.
Those guys who learned by reading and writing, those are the guys who got A's. Yeah,
what
lucky.
A in chemistry, A chemistry, A math, A biology, A
those
physics.
Guys are lucky. Every environment was designed for them. They flourished.
They thrived.
Then there's us who are visual learners. Like I need to see, don't give me notes to read. Give me a presentation, it has pictures, I see. Then I swear I learn. That's why like college and uni, my best academic performances were there because it was visual. And even now when I'm teaching, you guys saw, I was always doing presentations.
And that really helped because I think you also understood you have to speak the language of a creative to be able to help that creative.
Yeah.
Because even me, I remember when I was in primary high school, we struggled. But once I got into campus, it was a whole turnaround, and I was like, okay, that just was not for me. That was not working out for me.
Because we'd have teachers who'd come to class and the whole class, they're just writing notes on the board. And our job is to write those notes in our book. But see, let's talk about what's there.
About it.
I'll learn more and remember more. Like the teachers I remember most are the ones who we talked. And that's now the next style of learning.
Yes.
So we've talked about visual learners, there's read and write. Now there's audible learners. There's guys who have to talk, they have to discuss. That's why their teachers would create group sessions or discussions because they know there are some people who they need to talk, they need to discuss it, you have to explain it to them, then they catch it.
Yeah.
And then the last part is tactile. There are guys who have to do.
With their hands.
I can't tell you about camera. You have to hold it. You have to twist that lens. Hey, the picture is blurry. Hey, now the picture is sharp. You know, you have to hold it. You have to touch it. If it's a pen tablet, they have to try. They have to try the pressure sensitivity on their own. And then they learn. So discover what type of learner your child is. Discover what makes them tick. Like immerse yourself in their world as much as you can because it's difficult. You have to work. You have to make enough money. You have to do all this stuff. But immerse yourself in the world and trust that the good values you're showing, they're naturally wanting to pick up those things. Like taking the time to listen to them will already make them want to echo your values, and go with that. So it's a collaboration. Like the career I have now, my parents couldn't have picked that for me. Yeah. But I also wouldn't have gotten here without learning some character things from them. You know, like my dad is a very, like you can take his word to the bank. Like you can be like going to get a loan and they're like, you have no collateral. But so-and-so said they'll do this. So-and-so said. You can.
Shika.
So I learned that. It's tough. Like now I have to actually think about what I promise people before I just promise them.
Before you say it, You
know, and so those are some things. The best life will be a collaboration between the two of you. And I think also wisdom, because there are some people who, unfortunately, they don't have those kind of relationships with their parents. Like it's broken, it's in a tough place. You can get mentors, or you can follow people like your heroes. You know, like there's people online who I've never met, never spoken to them, but just me seeing what they do, I'm learning from them. I'm learning from how they live their life. Shout out Blinky Bill, Kina Mutua Madeka. Like there's just things they do that I'm just here watching, and I'm like, bro, I've learned, I've seen it how it's worked for you all these years. Even for me, it's working. So with that, there's always someone. Don't feel like, now my parent is not understanding this, I'm doomed. There will be people who will be able to be in that space to advise you into that next step. If you're willing to take that step over and over and over again, and just pace yourself. Be at that pace that's comfortable for you, but just being consistent, it will come.
I think something else also I'd like to add and will lead us to our next area of discussion is don't be afraid to explore.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is something I'm very grateful with, specifically ADMI. I'm very grateful that I got the chance to explore. Because when I came in, I was very fixed. After I finished my photography course, I was like, okay, now we're going to do the film course. And I'm like, I want to direct. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And now you ask me to direct, I'm like, please leave me alone. Give me the camera.
Yeah.
I will do the DOP thing. And funny thing, being creative has taught me to face myself, to really face myself. Because I can tell you actually since ADM, I had always denied being a photographer. I had always denied anything to do with handling the camera. I was like, I'm just going to be a producer or a writer, or especially script writing. I was very hungover in script writing. I don't know why, because I like telling stories. So I was very hung up with, I want and I have to be a writer. And then when in 2023, I went to study again in SA, and I got an opportunity. We did, one of the first units we did was camera operations. I was the last student to come to school. Wiki watu wanafanya exam, ndio mimi nilikuwa naadmitiwa.
Oh, so you entered when school was already going?
School was done. The first semester was done. Guys are literally going to do exam. And the lecturer was
so
like,
you entered the treadmill is already at 40 kph.
I was like, okay. And the lecturer was like, you know what? We'll give you an extra week to just catch up. We'll have your own class to just catch up. And then you'll do the exam. Are you okay with that? I was like, twende. Would you believe it if I tell you I was the highest in the class with a 98%?
That's why Kenyans were dangerous. That's why Kenyans were dangerous. Like, you give us that chance. Like, I remember even the uni I went to, most people who came from London or other big cities, they were in Coventry and they're like, "I place iko chini." You know? And then when you tell them you've come all the way from Kenya, like, why?
They're like,
to Coventry. Like,
what are you doing here?
This bum town, you know, because they've just grown up around these things.
That
Me,
place.
Shamba yangu, I'm even shocked. This door opened itself.
Bruh. Like, what magic?
So for like 2 months, I know the receptionist is just laughing at this Kenyan boy because I'm coming and I'm doing this. So the door can open on its own, you know. So you probably went there and you've seen, at 1 week, you took that chance, you went with it.
I was like, I have to run with it. And I was like, huh? I was like, damn, that's actually something I'm capable of. And then the next time we were doing grips and lighting, again, I was one of the top. And I got an opportunity to work on an advertisement that was being done for the Springbok, because that was during the Rugby World Cup. And
that's so amazing.
It was amazing. And I was the only female in the grip department.
Yeah.
The only female. So these guys are like, okay, who is going where? Malika Grips. Are you sure you can? I'm like, yeah. Are you sure? I'm like, dude, I know what to do. So we go start offloading things. They're like, that's too heavy for you. I'm like, dude, I said I can do it. I can do it. And then seeing these people watch me in wonder, like, oh my gosh, you're actually doing it. Like, wow. And then a classmate of mine during that experience was like, Malika, why don't you want to become a DOP? Why don't you want to become? I was like, by the way, why? Yeah. Why? And I kept asking myself this question. And I when I got into this year, I told God, you know what? If you give me the opportunity to DOP, I will do it. And God was like, okay, I got you. Kipaji Lab, the 3.0 cohort came.
Yeah.
And I almost missed the deadline. I was like, something told me, you know what? Just do it. Just funga macho. Do it. And I got in. And I did 2 of the short films. I DOP'd 2 of the short films. 2 of the 3 short films that were being done. And I was like, damn, if you really just believe in yourself as a creative and you allow your creativity to explore and expand, you can be capable of so many things.
And once you see life, once you discover that, nothing is ever the same again.
I can assure you, nothing, like, I've never gone back. Now, that was actually one of the pushes I actually needed. It's like, you know what? I need to now do this. I need to do this. I got to get this done. And voila, we're here. This is one of the products of being pushed to believe in me. Yeah. And that also now, as I was saying, will push us to the next thing I wanted us to talk about, which is our mental health as creatives. And one thing you've really touched about is be in competition with just you. Yeah. Like, even when I remember I was getting into even in my class in ADMI, I would be like, well, this one knows this one knows this. I'll
Yeah.
compare myself with Akina Okello, Akina Uche. I'm like, wait, what are you guys doing here? You guys know so much than me. I'm like, what? So your woga, I think that's actually woga ilifanya niji hold back when it came to the camera. I was like, damn, I was my own preventer. Mimi ndo nilikuwa naji-stop from my growth. And many creatives, I think, have gone through that. Is that something that you have also faced yourself?
Ah, yeah, 100%. 100%. Like even right now, actually even last night, I slept at like 4 a.m. working on, there's a poster, a music poster for an event that required me to go back to now like photo manipulation. Like I'm not illustrating. It's now just Photoshop, photo manipulation, bringing, compositing different elements together. That's not something that I usually do in my work. So there's that kind of imposter syndrome iko nyuma, like, hey, how do you know you're going to do this? Hey, these cuts are not looking so clean. Hey, this part. So you're dealing with that thing so much. And I guess there's a benefit from, as guys came from analog. Us were the analog that shifted into digital. So we grew up in a time where the only comparison was really the people you saw physically in class. Like you came to class and you're saying, hey, this guy has drawn this and me have drawn this. But largely, and then as you start getting older, you're just having fun doing your own thing. So it's kind of difficult for you guys because like social media and all these ways that you're exposed to other people. Let me tell you, you can be in a race. Have you ever seen those races where world record was this much? And then the guy who won smashed, like when Bolt smashed the record. Nobody goes back to also check, number 3 and number 4 also smashed the record. They treat that number 4 in that race like he was a failure.
Yeah.
But that number 4 also broke the previous record.
It's true. Kuna record alivunja.
Yeah. And I realized that because when I was in St. Mary's just had so much creative excellence. There's no time I ever felt like I was even among the top 5 in the school, which is really good because it made you have a certain ambition and a certain, like the bar of excellence is here.
It was high.
That's why now, like looking back, you can just see, hey, the John Alanamus, Lupita, all these people, like they were here. I was seeing them, but if someone is like 2 years ahead of you, you might as well be in different schools. But your excellence.
But you are there.
Yeah. So there's that thing of, yes, be around excellence, but also pat yourself on the back. If you're better than you were 2 months ago, it doesn't matter if there's that other person ahead of you who's winning an Oscar. You, as long as you are better than you were 3 months ago, 5 months ago. Like I have to train myself to have grace for myself. And then there's another thing you said, which is so, so powerful. Like there's nothing inspires me more than people who, it's like they have the courage to just try things. They're not pressured with, hey, this thing I'm trying, I have to win a Kalasha or I have to do this. Otherwise, it was a waste of time. No, you enjoyed yourself. You tried it. And it might work, it might not work, but they just tried.
But you did it. At the end of the day, you actually did it.
Like that thing of, like, it's so, so, so powerful. Like the more I think about it as a grown-up, maybe as a kid it just sounds like, as you just try it. But as you become a grown-up, you want to stay in that place where you're comfortable, this one I know how to do it, I'll do it well, it will be easy.
Yeah.
But this photo manipulation poster that I had to do this morning, it's outside. But I'm really glad I did it. And hopefully one day I'll do something else. Like I love EDM. Maybe one day I'll try to produce a beat. Or I really loved 48. Like I can't tell you, this is the thing I love about like being around young people. They are more open to telling themselves why not. They're like, maybe we try to see it goes. People get older and they like, if you're not conscious, that part of you just goes, it fades. Yeah. And before you know it, you're not trying things. You're afraid of how you look. You're not free. Like, just be free. Just try. And then talk to people. Like, talking about it with someone else who's not experiencing what you're experiencing. Someone who's experiencing it in a different way. That also helps. You'll realize, it turns out we're all kind of going through the same thing. But there's this guy called Rick Rubin, some weird Mzungu. He's worked in he's been like the producer advisor on so many studio albums. But he doesn't know how to use the equipment or whatever. His skill is, he'll be in the room and he'll listen to Jay-Z and tell him, when you said this part like this, that sounded more you. Do that. He's been in the room with guys like Kendrick. He's been in the room with guys like Eminem. all these different people, even rock groups.
Yeah.
Like he has a taste for different things and he trusts that taste. He trusts that instinct. Let me tell you, if you're educating yourself and you're consuming a lot of good stuff, over time you're building such a strong taste and you're building an instinct. That instinct is your gold.
True.
That ability for you to know this is a cool situation, this one is not. And sometimes your instinct may take you a different direction. That's okay. Maybe the world was going crazy over Afrofuturism, like me. But you are just that guy for...
Go for future!
No big deal. Like and that's okay.
Yeah.
So expressing that and... but the thing that Rick Rubin said that I'm always shikiliang, especially for artists, maybe design and other areas are a bit different because they have to consider the audience. But with art, the audience comes last. Yeah.
The craft comes first.
Yeah, you do what you feel is good for you. You're doing it for you. You're really doing it for you.
Yeah.
And then you put it out there. And sometimes when you've done something really for you, there's people who will connect to it. No. But when you're trying to do what you think people will like, that one never really...
It doesn't hit the spot.
Yeah, it never really... Like, we all have musicians we listen to where you're like, this album you are talking to us. This other one, now you started trying to... Maybe something was going on in their life. Some advisor came in at a time when they were second-guessing themselves and then made them do the generic thing.
And I think that's something that really bothers me, especially in our Kenyan industry, or just like maybe the music industry in a whole. And I'm going to be very specific. I'll use one of my favorite artists, which is Savara. I love Savara. I remember the first time I had Live and Die in Africa. I don't know who I told. I'm like, when these boys finally decide to take a break, Savara will create something we will never understand. Savara will dig something into us.
That album, even till now, sometimes I just find myself singing
his first album.
Yeah, but I haven't had the other albums yet.
That first album is pure gold. There's something about that first album that I personally feel the second album has not hit as fast as the first album. Because, and maybe it's because of, he's like, we're in the times, I need to move with the motion. And I recently got to learn that when it comes to the music industry, artists have to make like two kinds of music, one for the people and one for them. Let me say it like that. And I to make it simpler, I always say one for the 80%, one for the 20%. I feel like his first album was for the 20%. People who want the nitty-gritty, like the root of things. If you listen to each and every track in that song, kuna venye inakushika.
Yeah.
But when we come to the other album, I'm not hating on it, Savara. I'm not hating on it. It's...
Now I need to listen to it so that
and it's not a bad album. There's some tracks that are really good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's a zhuzh that is not there that was in the first album.
Yeah.
If we say,
this is a good topic to have, actually.
If we say, let's not talk about the album, let's talk about specific music. Okay, there's this song he did before last year ended, the wedding song. Hello, hello, nimekuja natangaza.
Yeah.
If you compare that song with Sianda, I'm like, bro, Apple inipoteza. Like, come on.
No, it's a good topic to talk.
Sianda felt like this is just for the masses. Like, let me just get the hype back up. Let me get a club banger. Let me give that. But then when you compare it with this other, you're like, that was a club banger you gave us, but the elegance it had. And I think an artist like Bien has escaped from this trap. I feel like he's found a way to escape from the trap. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But if you listen to him, listen to his each and every track he does, even apart from the album, there's a consistency of, I'm not going for the 80%. We were 20%. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes creatives will fall into that trap. You know? What do you think?
So many things. With music, I think the music industry has changed in so many ways that are interesting, inspiring, but also very, very challenging. There was a time when, like, the studio or the record label could sell physical records. Like they're selling vinyls, they're selling CDs, tapes. So that was like the revenue. You knew you're selling this many CDs and the revenue comes in. Then we go to digital platforms. And then even with these digital platforms, the money they're giving you, it's not really that much. So what does that do now for the musical artist? The artist now has to make money through doing shows or your music being used in ad campaigns or Now you're doing specific collabos with brands. So that means they have a struggle to stay relevant every so often. So a lot of artists will try and push themselves to do an album a year or an album at the very least every 2 years, so that at least I'm top of people's minds, so that I can be called to do these shows, I can be called to do the brand deals, or my music being used maybe in commercials, maybe in TV shows, all those different revenues. Then maybe they're trying to create their own merch. And it might just so happen that in that 1 year between this album and the other album, what you've experienced and the way you're seeing the world, when you express that to people, it's not resonating as much to them as what you were expressing in the beginning. So the problem could be, okay, maybe you rushed it, you didn't put in as much, or it could be that was your truth, but it's not vibing with people. So I think if you really want to be an artist, you have to accept that there are times when you want to express yourself and that's your true expression, and people are just not vibing with it. Yeah. And I think that's why it goes back to you're doing it for you. If you're doing it for you and then people also love it, man, magnificent. Vibes, But if you're really just doing it for you, and then there's the other objective things like the production quality, the whatever. Like now, me as an artist, like I'm thinking about how have I used colors, how have I used lines, how is the composition of it. But the topic, if I'm really expressing what I feel, it's very likely that some people hate it, some people like it, and I have to be ready and okay with that. If you're not okay with that, do not be an artist. It's really, really tough, because sometimes you did something and you love it. And other people are just like, nah, I liked it better when you did these other things. That's so true. The courage to still be you. But there could be all kinds of external factors that maybe we don't know, we don't see, and I don't know. So those are things which are difficult. But anytime, where possible, it's always important to just be authentic to yourself, and then grow also as a person, because when you grow as a person, even what you're expressing is different. Like one of my favorite artists is like Kendrick. You can see he grows as a person and he's thinking through things, like there's nuances. What he's talking to us about now is different from what he was talking to us about 10 years ago. True, very true. And fans want to go on that journey with you. And I'm not a producer, so I can't. I don't have expertise
You're a consumer,
on that.
so you have expertise.
I think he's one of those people who, and that's what can happen. Like if you're really excellent and diligent and really good with your craft, it can survive that weight. Like for example, Blinky Bill. Hey, I'm one of those who waited until I was handing him on social media. I was like, bro, can you please give us this album?
Give us something.
Before Putin finishes us. But when it finally came, let me tell you, I went to the listening party. It was like maybe the album played for like maybe an hour. It felt like it had been playing for 15 minutes. Like every song was just then it flows to the next, to the next. By the time it was over, I was like, wait, we're done. Like it bombarded me so much. Like that album, even now I can just press play and let it all flow. So I can see he wanted to take his time and really do it to the point where, but business-wise, that can also bring its challenges. Yeah. So like artists, you have to figure it out. Like I could decide now to clear out my schedule for the rest of the year and just work on like a dope series of illustrations. But now, unfortunately, capitalism, I have to also do the commissions, which give me money. I have to do this other stuff. I have to balance also time for myself as a human being. Yeah. So that's also the tough part. Like, be an excellent artist, but understand that as you're balancing stuff. Kwanza, even like a healthy relationship already takes up so much time, and stuff. So don't feel like my life is going badly because I don't have as much time to create as when I was young. Yeah. That's a healthy progression. Like, you're supposed to be busy on other stuff that you need for your mental and physical health. That's true. Yeah.
And when we talk about mental health, we also have such a huge rise in depression, in suicide, in especially imposter. I personally do not believe in imposter syndrome. I feel like I had to teach myself not to doubt myself. I had to force myself. I'm like, by the way, Malika, if you're the one who's done it, imagine you're the one who's done it. There's no saying, ni wewe ndo umefanya. So I think when we talk about imposter syndrome specifically, I think that also reels into what relationship do we have with our minds as creatives, and how are we balancing, how are we being healthy, not just mentally but physically, how are we taking care of ourselves and people around us, how is the environment affecting us? And there are things, as we said, we can control, and there are things we definitely cannot control, and it all boils down again to our mental state. So when it comes to creativity and taking care of your brain and your state, how do you specifically as Brian ensure that imposter syndrome is not chasing you, that depression is not knocking at your door, that the idea of suicide is not telling you, pss, pss, come and say, how are you able to, while still showing up for people in the world, showing up for your clients, for your friends, your family, those you care about, and also showing up for your creativity? How do you juggle that?
I think it's really tough and really interesting in different ways, because I feel like every new level of life brings its new challenge, like you've never dealt with before.
True.
Like today, if you ask me about problems that I had in college, I'll tell you, that one you solve like this, you solve like this, solve like this. But back then when I was going through it for the first time. So I don't know how to deal with, homesickness, and I'm away from people. I don't know how to deal with that. So, and now I'm dealing with stuff that I don't know how to deal with. It's like the first time. So I think having grace for yourself, I pray a lot, and I look for mentors or voices. I'm consuming content for people who I feel I'm relating with what they've gone through in their journey. And that time I'm spending in learning those things are helping me feel a bit balanced. And then taking time to really grow and keep the relationships in your life healthy. Like the people who are like your inner circle, those relationships are not going to flourish on their own.
True.
There's stuff you'll fight over and then you have to resolve. Then there's things you have to like learn how to communicate better, and then you learn how to do all these things. And then the fruit of that is having people who I can relate with. Sometimes we can have been situations where it's out of balance. Like you spend so much time on work that you've not spent enough time on relationships or growing as a person, growing in your spiritual health, your mental health, and those things. And then there's just times when, like I said, it's new. So you just have to keep trying to get information. I really wish mental health was more affordable. Like when you hear the cost for therapy, like it can kind of scare you.
You're like, huh?
I wish that was more. But the next best thing is, like podcasts or certain books. Take the time for those things. And hopefully it works out for you. And I think it does work out in the end. But don't feel weird if you're feeling life is tough sometimes. Life is tough. Like it's new, it's challenging. It's like the things I'm going through now. I'm just like, but I know in a year, maybe now it won't seem as crazy.
As crazy as it
Let me
is
just
right
tell you the truth. Like even coming to you guys, your class, it's not that I was an expert at Photoshop. There's things I'm coming and I'm just like, but anyway, at least I know this part, right? And let me focus it on projects. Because I was like, if I give you guys exciting projects to work on, it stops being about, it's this tool and this tool and this tool. It becomes, I want you guys to express yourself, and these are some ways people out there are being hired to express themselves as, and then these are some tools we can learn.
We can learn with. And that I can tell you really made that class really fun. And I remember I aced that. I did not think I would ace that class because it was very scared of editing in Photoshop and all that. And I was like, damn, with how you've explained it, project by project, making it exciting. Because I think about creatives, we like things that excite us. It's not, don't make me feel like I'm in class 5 again, Mwalimu wa maths, or like I'm in high school and it's chemistry and it's double and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I think most of your classes were actually in the evening. Most of your classes were after lunch for my class.
Yes. After you guys were doing the day, then there were some guys who were doing at night, but for you guys, it was during the day.
Yes, it was during the day after lunch. So I can also kind of imagine putting myself in your shoes wherein watu wametoka lunch, watu wameshiba. Kuna jua nje, it's hot outside. People just want to go home. And now I have to bring them in a lab, teach them for an hour or two, and make sure they don't pass out on the table. That's a lot. I think that's such a huge responsibility.
But I think the big part was So when I was in school, I skipped. There's times when I was a not so good student because I was experiencing what I didn't feel like was good education. Then there's times I was enjoying education and I'm applying myself thoroughly. So it's like I saw one of the things about creatives is you have to allow them to express themselves in the way that they want.
True.
So I think when I applied that tended to work better than everything else. Like I realize now that the reason I was not enjoying class is because the assignments weren't set up in a way that I was doing the thing I actually want to do. So I'm
It's like you're being forced. It's like you were being forced to do it a specific way.
Exactly. So I think if guys did that, but back to I think imposter syndrome is just that feeling of, hey, I've never done this before. I don't really know if I'm qualified to do this. And it's natural to feel like that because it's new. You've not been there before.
Sure.
But it's to trust that even as you do it, and even if you make mistakes as you're doing it, slowly by slowly, you kind of get used to it. You get used to feeling like, hey, maybe it's not quite there yet. And then I guess it's just a combination of so many things. Like one, trusting your instinct, and then trusting yourself to develop pole over time.
Yeah.
And then having the right people that you're looking at and learning from, or even if you're lucky enough to have mentors that you're looking at and learning from. And over time, that grows. It grows, yeah. But, I guess the moral of the story is just invest time into the thing you want to learn. You want to learn how to be more mentally healthy, invest time into those things, and then the dividends will come. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's vibes. As we're wrapping up now, so we have a kind of closing tradition on the podcast, which is one. Give us one word you would use to describe the fact that all creatives are lumped into one. What is one word you can give us to at least try and solve that problem?
Ignorance. Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah. I think an employer is thinking you can just do all those things at once. Is an employer that doesn't know that field well enough. So get to know what it is you want. Then you'll realize that, oh, actually this is many. It's not just one. Yeah. But for creatives, don't feel like you're wasting your time educating people on how your field works. There are some people who, when you educate them, it benefits them, and then eventually they come back to you. Everything you're giving can at times come back, but also be careful with the takers, because there's some who will just take from you and not give. But ignorance, I think. And we're a young economy. The creative economy in Kenya is a little bit young, but that's not an excuse. Yeah. Don't let it be an excuse for people to
for not educating themselves also.
Yeah.
And then finally, give us a hashtag to describe specifically the creative economy.
Something about this year. I think I'll just say hashtag fearless.
Nice. Hashtag fearless. I like that.
Guys are doing stuff that's really inspiring me. My bro has a fashion brand, and the ideas he has and how he promotes himself and how he does all these things. And then there's other people who are doing like data journalism, or like the stories we've seen, even that have talked about different stuff. I don't think you can do any and all of those things without having the courage to. So I guess it's hashtag fearless or hashtag courage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for creating time to come today. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And I really hope every parent, every student, every young kid who will get to hear this, or even if it's in a small clip, will know that as a creativity inalipa. Creativity in Alipa, it's a form. I call it a form of therapy at times. At times when I'm stressed, when I'm trying to do an edit, I'm like, you know what? Let me just go sing a song, and then that just breaks down all of the confusion I had. I'm like, oh, okay, I can just do this and this and that story, and so it's been really amazing to have also somebody come and we talk about how they think all of us are one, yet we are not. And it's up to us also to educate them, because we know it better. We know this industry better than they do. So thank you so much, Brian, for
Karibu.
availing yourself and for sharing what you think. It's really impactful. And I can say once again, thank you for impacting my life directly.
Karibu.
Nitaendelea kukusumbua. Hiyo na sitakudanganya.
You know, I have a funny story for you.
Okay.
The craziest experience I ever had as a lecturer was in your class.
Which class? The photography class?
Yeah, I'd invited another guy called Alfred to come just talk to you guys. He was a photographer for Kotoa magazine. So he's calm, he's presenting and everything is going well. Then at some point he looks this way. And then like there's another student who... So me, I didn't quite understand what was going on until Alfred stopped talking. Then that's when I checked. There was a classmate of yours who had like fainted or something.
Allah?
Yeah, so now I've gone,
What?
I'm trying to pick up, and then, you know, when it's a limp body, even trying to pick up, you're trying to hold the armpit, she's like sliding out. And me, I'm just like, yo, this cannot be happening. So I've tried to pick her up.
What?
Then at some point she comes to, she feels embarrassed, she runs out of the class.
What?
And then you chased after her, and now you're just trying to comfort her. Immediately she gets out of class, again she angukas, she's like hyperventilating.
Why can't I remember
Then you're
this?
comforting her and whatever. I've gone to the reception. There's no one at the reception. So you guys have gone for a meeting. Eventually now they come. And I'm just like, yo, like this can happen just like that.
Damn.
But eventually she came to, I think, the pelekada to the principal's office. She relaxed kidogo.
Imagine I can't remember
But
this.
ulimsaidia sana. You're the one who helped her. I think,
Damn.
I don't know what she had at lunchtime. But me, I was just like, yo. That's the craziest 10 minutes now I had as a lecturer.
It's like your life kind of flashed in front. And you're like, damn.
That one was wild. That one, yeah. But I hope she's okay, wherever she is now.
I can't remember this story at all. Guy, who was that?
I think her name was Sylvia. I can't remember the other name. Yeah.
Actually, yes, and she's actually one of the first.
That day,
she's one of the first portraits I ever took. I think I remember that name. So she's one of the first portrait pictures I ever took.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you so much, Brian, for giving us also that story. It has been a wrap for us today. Do not forget to stay with us each and every time. Here at Tetanam, please stay African and stay very, very radical. See you next time. Bye.